it is true that the EAFIA misled the auditors. And I want to find out from you, if the EAFIA misled the auditors, why didn't you provide the sufficient information during the time of making your responses to the management letter? Honorable Susan.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, the confidence that the accounting officer is exhibiting. For once, I think Jesus is walking on the ground. Chair, even if the project started from one section of the hospital, which is scattered, the auditor was there to do his work. It was incumbent upon the accounting officer to take him where he thinks the project has started from and report what is on ground. Why did he keep off this information and now he's bringing it here and explaining like he's God sitting on the throne?
Accounting officer, were you given time during the exit meeting to have these explanations given, and the auditor did not listen to you?
Thank you so much. I think through you, Chair, I can allow other members, probably, maybe my English is not that nice. Yes. Yeah, thank you.
No, I think it's clear that we appreciate your communication skills and the confidence. What we are saying, like the Chair has posed the question, what did you do to rectify, to provide the relevant information? Because the fact that the auditor carried forward, it means that today it is still pending. So unless you bring documentary evidence to prove that in spite of that scattered and innovation that you made, the issue is now resolved and is here attached. Call it a day.
Yes, that one actually, yes, I can easily, if you give me time, Honorable.
Present to the Chair.
If you give me time,
Chair,
you don't have it.
Chair, he has the queries from the Auditor General, and he's coming to answer those queries. And he had the information, but he chose to leave the information behind so that he comes to tell us a story. I am sure I'm a historian, but sometimes you have to quote. You have to quote. So if you knew you were coming here to answer this query, and you knew that you had information relevant to it, why didn't you bring it to back it up?
But Chair,
what are you quoting now that you are excited? Oh, Chair, I will bring it. Why didn't you bring it? You want to go and collect it around?
Yes, Honorable Nekesa.
Chair, maybe the accounting officer has asked to have one of his members. Is it possibly okay that they can, in case he doesn't have and the other people have it, and they say something more beyond just him?
Honorable Sarah.
Chair, I just wanted to find out from the accounting officer. I'm very sure that the auditors, before they finally release this report, there's normally an exit meeting. So do you bring it to the attention that the EAFIA information was partial, and did you provide them with all the information? I just want to find out.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Member. Through you, Chair, still allow me.
Very okay,
yes,
very okay.
Please. I think Dr. Manzi, you could have been there that day. You can also shed a light on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Now, during a time of audit, as you know, the agenda, if you had to see most of us regional referrals, there has been efforts towards digitalizing most of the data that we are having, which has been a priority. And I think most of the data that we have been running has been manual data. So, in bid to ensure that we digitalize everything, efforts were focused on looking at the electronic data. So that's why even if we provide the manual data, the interest was all data should be digital.
Doctor, do you want to convince this committee that the Auditor General refused to look at the manual and only focused on the digital? The reason as to why I'm asking that is because, you know, audit is not, you don't think that this is because this is just paperwork. They are giving a true picture of the type of service in terms of quality, quantity that you do give to the people. And I've told you this is the gist of the audit. This is how you spent the money. This is the gist of the audit. So how can, I don't know, how can the auditor be, can I classify it? Not rigid, but insensitive. To give a false picture of what actually happens in Mbarara in regard to offer of services to the people. Because this, at the end of the day, gives a false picture of what practically takes place in regard to provision of services. If somebody says you planned to do this so many activities, for example, you planned to carry out 4,344 X-rays, and you did not carry out, what does that show? Where is the challenge? So this is the true gist of the audit.
Yeah.
In regard to the quality and quantity of the services that you offer to the 11 districts and 1 city of Mbarara region. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I think for the benefit that members, especially Honorable Susan, was trying to allude to, where you did not harmonize with the auditor then, including but not limited to an exit meeting. When you come here, this is an evidence-based committee. You can at least try and look a little neat by coming to now put documents here, say what we did not accomplish yesterday. As far as we are concerned now, here we are. This is the document. Being an evidence-based committee, we can also maybe look at that and see what could have happened. Because we are interested in seeing that what your issues that you're raising are unqualified. Because that means your issues to us, the lay people, are qualified. But to us here, we say they are unqualified. We are interested in looking at that. How unqualified are you? That is the correct status of what your position is today.
But Chair, just a little more addition to the concern, Mr. Accounting Officer and the team. Now, you talked about the AFIA, the electronic program. Were you behind schedule that the accounting, the Auditor General's team had come and found you're behind schedule for your own failures? Or what happened? What's the relation between that digitization, the electronic media, and this? And the auditor concerned, did they say that they didn't want to because you're behind schedule by your own faults, or what happened, or it was circumstantial that you didn't have all your data electronic by this time?
Account officers, you make a response. I want you to pick interest in this item of 4,000. It is the last item of Appendix 3. 4,848 blood transfusions. The actual is 9,844. I mean 82. What brought that big difference? Yes, you overperformed, but what happened? What were the circumstances that made you receive close to half of what you had anticipated? The other item is 300 dialysis sessions anticipated. 300 dialysis. You ended up carrying out 1,269 dialysis sessions. You had a variance up of 900. Actually, you doubled the plan. Then when it also comes to these 344 endoscopy, you only had 180. These we might say, yes, you said we have issues with the data and we are yet to verify. But I want you to speak to these where you overperformed. Are these factual or there is a challenge with data entry? Do you agree to this?
Yes, Honorable Chair, I do agree with these facts. Yes.
Why did you underestimate to this extent? Because how can you plan for 300 dialysis and then you have 1,269? You plan for 300, you have 1,000. What happened?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital actually is the only hospital that does dialysis in that unit, in that area. And
food systems depend on nature, so we're taking action to help restore nature, strengthen water resilience and reverse biodiversity loss. And in 2024, we made real progress.
the demand we usually get, we make a requisition from Kirudu Hospital. They supply us, and we do the service. So occasionally, around these festival days, like Easter, Christmas, people who have been in Kampala and have been going to Mulago, have been going to Kirudu, when they reach there and hear that the service has been extended there, they are willing to come because there has been less congestion.
I want to inquire from you.
Yes.
What informs your planning? By the time of planning, didn't you know that you receive referrals from Kirudu? Christmas time, people come, because we believe at the time of you planning to have 300, you put all factors. Because, you know, it is a big variance. From 300 to 1,269, it's a big variance.
Yeah.
For me, I thought that during the time of planning, you consider all necessary factors. At least we can allow a variance that is, you know, acceptable. But times 3 of what you had planned and a half seem to be somehow abnormal. Could be there were challenges in planning. What was too new that you didn't anticipate, you know, that underscored this of your estimate in terms of planning?
Okay. Yeah, thank you, really. The truth is the planning is guided by the previous data we usually have. But again, along the course, we got donations of new dialysis machines. We got actually extra 3 dialysis machines from Bank of Uganda. And when they came, we were excited. We informed the Kirudu. We said we can now actually relieve you. We've got extra dialysis machines. We wanted to put them into use. And that's how we managed now to scale up from a small number to where we are today.
Okay, honorable colleagues, I think that is sufficient, enough to really explain. At least receiving new dialysis machines can explain why you had that big shoot. Yes, Honorable Amero.
Thank you very much, Chair. They received the dialysis machines from Bank of Uganda. And for consumables, they still had to run to Kirudu.
Yeah.
What stops them from now informing the ministry so they can have the consumables given to them directly as a referral hospital than going to pick from Kirudu their consumables for which they have budgeted for the people they have, and now you are having also a larger population from this side. What is your plan in regard to that?
Yeah.
Chair, before you come in, Chair,
Yes.
let me add on something to that. Accounting officer, in your earlier submission about the dialysis, you said you help Kirudu. Is Kirudu the center for dialysis by policy, or what is there between dialysis Kirudu and then you coming in to offer? Can you get more light to that effect? Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable. Actually, let me start with the Honorable member in the extreme corner. The truth is we are providing a service well above what a regional referral hospital should offer. It is not only dialysis. As I mentioned from the beginning, we have 41 units, and many regional referral have actually almost half of that. So the problem, it cuts across. You find that we are offering, for example, ear, nose, and throat surgeries. But by the nature of us being a regional referral hospital, we cannot access what should be consumed in that area because that one is already designated for a national referral. And it cuts across very many areas in cardiothoracic surgeries, in neurosurgery, in urology, dermatology, high risk, very many things we are running. So
before you continue, does it mean you are now operating those other units illegally? Because if you're not given the permission to do that, then why are you doing it?
Yes, accounting officer.
Yes, it is not illegal. As I said from the beginning, this is a teaching hospital. And all these units I'm mentioning, actually the university has courses, the postgraduates there. The truth is, the majority of the workforce we have are students doing their masters in that area. That's the cushion we've enjoyed as Mbara Regional Referral Hospital. So dialysis, yes, we would have loved to do it, to have our direct requisition from National Medical Store. But it is a regional referral hospital. It was out of Kirudu's wisdom, it was congested, yet we have trained personnel. We have nephrologists from the university side. We said, we started with 2 donations of dialysis machines from Italian friends. We approached Kirudu. We said, we have specialists, we've got machines, or we need our consumables. They found it so easy to do that such that we decongest their area. And that is what we've been doing.
So Chirudu is the center of excellence for dialysis. What is Chirudu in here? What is it coming that Chirudu? Is it the National Dialysis Center? What's it?
Yes, thank you. Certainly some details I may not be aware, but all we know in this country, it has been the National Referral Mulago and also Kirudu that we are meant to offer dialysis, and therefore they are the ones which can easily access to the consumables.
Accounting officer, go to page 25, item 8. I don't know, note of your response with this report of the Auditor General on this table. Item 8, the number of condoms procured and distributed. You had planned to procure 50,000. You only procured 24,000. 25,000 were not distributed. You said NMS did not deliver as planned. Don't you think you contributed to the spread of HIV in that area, and you denied some of your clients opportunities to enjoy their social liberties?
Yeah.
Yes, Honorable Susan.
Last year, it was in the newspapers, Mbarara was regarded as the district with which had highly infected people with HIV. Mbarara was named to number 1 last year.
So, accounting officer?
Yeah.
Yes, Honorable Sarah.
I just wanted to find out before the accounting officer comes in, because these are planned activities for which money was
spent,
was released and close to almost 100%. So when I see partial implementation, how comes all the money was utilized and yet activities were partially implemented? I just need to understand, because when I look at diagnostics, for example, you had 227 million shillings, of which the warrants were 226,750. And that leaves you with just a small 250 to make it. So it's 99.9% released. Now, when you look at the implementation, partially implemented, for example, the X-rays, I'm sure there are films or whatever is involved there which you did not utilize. The ultrasound, partially implemented. So these partial implementations, how comes you have partial implementations where the money was released to near 100%?
Honorable Sir, as he makes a response, yes, Honorable Cooper, Elijah, as you also introduce yourself. And actually, other colleagues who came in after we had introduced ourselves, they've not just come in. They came in slightly after introduction. They should also introduce themselves. Whoever didn't introduce, please do. Beginning with the Honorable Elijah Okupa, senior citizen.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Elijah Okupa, representing the people of Asilo County, Serere District. I've just issue that you raised about the condoms.
I just want to find out, because you received 70% of the money, but you are able to do 52%. I would have expected it to be rhyming. What explains that? Thank you.
In the same vein, Chair, about the condoms, now you mentioned NMS and condoms, and we've known condoms and HIV prevention has largely been with the partners and civil. Now, that come into play here, that NMS gets from the, when you get from the partner, they give NMS to distribute. What happens? What's the interplay between the CSOs, partnerships, you as the service providers, and NMS in regard to the condoms and other preventatives for HIV? Thank you.
Honorable Sarah, on the matter that you raised, we still have a prevailing challenge. Through the response of the accounting officer, he said this information that we have is a little insufficient because of the EFR system, that the auditor only relied on the digital information and did not look into the paperwork. That's why I was trying to look at the other table to find out whether the auditor that handled Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital is around to give clarity on the issue that they have raised. And Salongo, kindly pick interest in that as he does make a response. Yes, Honorable Sarah.
Chair, I do take note of the AFIA, the E-AFIA, and those ones are clearly indicated. The management response states so. But there are on other cases where, for example, you're supposed to have ECG tests carried out of 688, only 106 were done, partially implemented. Staff who was working there retired, and it took time to replace him. So I'm asking, so where is the money?
Yet you spend all,
yes,
and
you
activities
all.
were not.
Those ones where there are documentation issues, they are clearly indicated as documentation challenges after introduction of E-AFIA. But I'm talking about these others where there was a full release of funds and yet activities partially implemented. And then the money was fully spent.
Accounting officer.
Yeah, thank you, members. Through your chair, allow me to request my colleague, Dr. Manzi, to shed light on these concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The beauty with some products like, let's say, condoms and maybe the ARVs, these are items that are provided to NMS by partners. And these always, we never run out of stock of them, unlike these other normal essential medicines, which affect our budget. These do not affect our budget. So whatever we plan, ideally what we have always been planning is what is delivered. If let's say you plan for 600 tins of TDF, that is enough for viral.
Doctor, you don't have to meander. We are asking specifically, yes. Go straight to the audit query.
Yes.
Planned versus variance.
For that year, we planned for those 50,000 condoms, but was unlucky that year we faced a challenge of they were not delivered.
You said they always have in plenty. Why did they deliver?
But it was only that year that we.
No, you know when you come for issues of audit, we don't look at only that year. Remember, you are dealing with lives. I told you, you know, this is criminal. Because you contributed to the spread of HIV, you denied the people their social rights. You see? So you cannot just say, because that year, only that year. No, this is a service that you are supposed to render. So because for you might think because we are talking about condoms and you take it light. No, this is an item that is essential. That is why you planned for it. So as you make your response, don't refer to other years. You refer to the year under review and you tell us what happened after failure to deliver these planned items. What did you do as an entity? Because you have reasons. In any case, why did you plan for 50,000 condoms? What was your basis?
And also, Madam Chair, as rightly said by Doctor, I want to believe that these are supplies that are given to NMS or donated by partners. But here they are costed. Here you
said yes.
Yes. Here they are budgeted for. Can you also help us appreciate what happens there? Are you paying for them when indeed they are being donated to us? Can we reconcile that?
But still getting back to my issue, because you got the actual at 70%, but you are able to 152%. Why that varies? They should be at the same level.
Yes, Doctor.
Thank you, Chair. If we are to look back, if you are to see in that year, USAID started having challenges. We started seeing things like withdrawal and all that. But before, we used to get almost all the
Doctor, speak
supplements.
to the year under review. We are not interested in the before.
The one of,
we are speaking
one
for
of Trump just started
the year,
in this
the year
year.
under review. We are speaking to your work plan, I mean, versus failure to provide this. That is what you should speak to. Don't go to before, after.
Why I refer to before is that we make this year's plan depending on
True.
We predict the consumption of this year. We plan for this year using past data to use.
And
consumption
no
data.
objection on that.
Yes.
We are
And
asking, why didn't we receive the 50,000? Those are the reasons we should give.
we presented the order to NMS, and NMS delivered less
Less.
than what you had ordered. So
Chair, NMS has to and then here, do the partners give the money to you as an entity, or they give it to the central government budget, or the NMS? What happened? The money changes. It's NMS.
Actually, for us,
NMS.
when it comes to facility, when it comes to ordering, first we do not even interface with the money. For us, we just send orders online, and NMS just brings the items.
My question still stands. For the variance of the 50 billion and now the 3 point something, NMS will respond. Mine is on the actuals you received vis-a-vis the output. 70, 52. Why?
I haven't gotten it clearly.
Let me take you back to the appendix on page. The output budget was 5.1 billion. The warrants, page of the Auditor General's report. Yeah, page 22 on 3. Are you seeing the output budget was 5.1 billion? The warrants were 3.6 billion. Expenditure is 3.6 billion. Number of condoms, of course, the audited amount was 50,000, but the actual was 24. So you can see the money, the actual expenditure is 3.6. And you get, it's more than half, it's more than, but your performance here is 52%. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking.
What did we use the other money for?
Yeah, why is it not rhyming? Because it should have also, the distribution here should have also been at 70.01%. So the difference between 5 billion and 3.6, NMS will explain.
Please.
Who is giving misinformation? Auditor General or us?
Beyond record.
Beyond record, you tell us who is giving misinformation.
I can say Auditor
Pull the
General.
microphone closer.
I
Pull
think
it.
the Auditor General captured a wrong information to assume that all these 5 billion related to condoms. No. All this money is for G2G activities, of which condoms were a part. So it's not true that all the 5 billion went to condoms. No.
Madam Chair, some information.
Yes, yes.
So where did the other part go?
No, we have Chair had guided
that's
that
what
when we come to G2G, there are various activities.
Because I know. No, I'm asking.
Yes.
I'm asking you
Yes.
because you are the one on the ground.
Yes.
If you say Auditor General is misinforming here, you should be having things. You who is on the ground on your fingertips. What the other one is, because I know the down HIV/AIDS has also its issues. Because I think that is what always goes with you said. Donor money.
Yes.
But I am specific on this one. This one is specific on HIV/AIDS. I mean on condoms. if you looked at that column and you take
Actually,
it. So,
Chair, that's what I wanted to clarify. If we'd go into the details of the work plan of G2G, would specifically pick out the money which was allocated to condoms coming from G2G. That's what I'm trying to give to you. And speaking to this, you remember G2G, if you look at the budget 5.1 and money warranted 3.6, you know G2G, it crosses the financial years. This is US.
Excuse me.
Yes, yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. The difference between 5 and 3, leave it.
Yes.
We are seeing this one specifically allocated for the condom, the 3.6.
No, honorable chair.
Maybe the Auditor General can help.
No, the Auditor General did not make any mistake.
Clarify. Because he's saying it's a mistake. Can they clarify?
If you look at that table, the 5.1 and the 3.6 have a number of activities under. It is very clear.
Yes.
And also when you go to table 1 showing the summary of analysis of the entity's budget, it is very clear that that budget of 5.11 billion was for G2G. So let's not spend a lot of time on that. So this money was not specifically for condoms alone, but for these other activities that are underlisted. Yes. So, accounting officer, it is very unfortunate that you did not bring out this matter at the time of the exit meeting while we were interfacing with the Auditor General, because we have misleading information, especially in the areas where we talk about the system. You called it, what's the name that you gave? The AFIA. Eh? The EAFIA, because, you know, if you fail to give sufficient information on the activities that were executed, that means we as the accountability committee cannot ascertain whether you appropriately used the money that was allocated to you. Honorable Sarah.
Chair, I do appreciate that the 5.1 billion was not only for condoms, but it related to a number of activities which still show a lot of wastage, surely. That we can have 3.6 billion being given to us by USAID, and it is 1 for procuring condoms, 2 for CSOs and service providers being trained, for health workers and public-private sector trained in integrated management of malaria. Yes. Now, when you look at this, Chair, specifically on HIV, on item under 3, page 22 is where I am. Number of CSOs and service providers trained. The indicators, the activities, 20. The actual, 0. But they've written they are fully implemented.
This is the auditor's analysis, and I believe there must be an error on this one. It's
I remember during the exit, all these submissions were done, but in most cases, Auditor General, there are queries which he keeps in view to follow up in the following financial year, and specifically to G2G. You know, it crosses 2 financial years, and most of the last part is done in the first quarter of our financial year. So when you look at this,
you say your title is a doctor.
No, I'm a senior accountant.
You are a senior accountant. Senior
Yes.
accountant. When you are making a plan for a financial year, all that is done is for that financial year. It might spill over, but whatever is supposed to be handled in the subsequent financial year is brought up in the budget for the next financial year. You want to mean because it's a G2G, all the activities are put here as a lump sum?
No, actually, this is, I think maybe we have to go back to the budgeting committee. This is what we had wanted it to be, that specifically for G2G, we only budget for 3 quarters, because it is what we handle from 1st October to 30th June. Yeah, because for them they end in September.
Yeah.
But in the committee, because
Let
this is
him
the
first
fact when
update.
you look at the budget, you can even access it here. You'll find all the budget, this 5.1 billion, is for the entire G2G. But ordinarily, we perform 3 quarters. And in the first quarter, when you look at the warrants, you'll find in Q1 of our financial year, under G2G, we'll have more money because of those activities which cross, and they are funded in that first quarter of the following financial year.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
why
Honorable.
that's why I was asking, can the Auditor General help us appreciate this more? Yeah. Yeah, since they now speak the same language, can we now hear from the Auditor General?
The person that handled this entity is not with us.
No, not necessarily, but the others, who, if they are here, understand the things, they should be able to
Can
relate how they operate here.
Arnold, can you make a response to this? Do you have the capacity to? Salongo, did you get the question clear? If you've just walked in, excuse yourself.
No, Chair.
Before, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I went out,
Come in to answer this.
there is some information that I wanted to put forward. To begin with, the auditor was not, I don't remember the word that was used, to describe the fact that he was
the
not,
system.
yes, to describe the fact that he did not do what, or he captured this issue in the report. Madam Chair, what we should note is that the fund, nearly all the funds that were planned were almost given. And
Now,
apart from a few, but there was provided funding. Now, when you look at like the 5.3, is it 5 point something billion? 3.6 was given. But now, when you look at the activities that were done, there were gaps. There were gaps. And if we look at page 22, page 22, the one on the top, 243 was warranted. Let me say 243.7 was budgeted. It was warranted, and it was spent.
100%.
100%. But when you look at the activities that are in, they budgeted for the first activity 21,112. The actual was 18. The second one, 125,840.
Salongo, we've taken note of that.
Yes. So, and there are go through the whole, when you go through the whole table, where you find some overperformance. Now, the overperformance means that they have used money which is meant for some other activities underperformed and used it in those other areas, which means there are diversions within. And the bringing this issue is to bring it to the attention of the members of the Accountability Committee or members of Parliament that there is this challenge. And when you look at the response given by the accounting officer at the time of exit, he brought in the idea of NMS not delivering, and he brought in the idea of issue with the e-AFIA, implying that for those areas maybe to be rectified, then he has to bring
Accounting officer, do you get that clearly? That save for the funds that were utilized in the subsequent quarter, even the 3.6 that you received, you used the 100% of this money, and where some activities remained partially implemented. And when you look at item 2 of 125,840 patients, you only had half. And you had a variance of 58,127. Partially implemented, but the money was spent. Do we want to mean that for these activities that are partially implemented, their funds were used to implement other activities where you excessively performed? Or you overperformed? Do you want to mean that? They are there on page what? 24. Please do.
To speak more.
No, you. That's why you are here.
Yeah. Because I'm always fully involved in budgeting and even execution. You see, during budgeting, all of us, even the Parliament, we have the system that is used by Minister of Finance, the PBS system. And when we are reporting, the system, it interlinks with IFMIS, yeah, at Accountant General. So the that system of Minister of Finance, PBS, it picks actuals from the performance of Accountant General. How much have we paid? Now, Minister of Health introduced IAFIA. It reads into these two systems. So it's what I was trying to say earlier, that where we had raw data, specific, and it's unfortunate that we did not come with the details from the records department. Yeah, you would get that where we had all these shortfalls, we presented these details to our colleagues at Mbarara Auditor General's office, and they appreciated, because the system in those sections, when you go to those areas, you'd find it was capturing or actually nothing. But at performance level, when you are capturing your quarter 4 performance level, budget performance, because it reads into that system, it will capture 0 or 2 or 3, and you cannot enter it manually. No, it has controls. It's what all these, it's not that we spent the money or we diverted it. No, it is this the issue of the systems now which have been synchronized to speak into each other. Equally like diversion, like NERA, you know, when you are blustering the HR, it is the same thing, because now NERA also reads, it is integrated with HCM. So any information which is not as per NERA's capture, it will reject even when you pay. On the system, it will reject that data. So equally here, this is, Chair, what I was saying, that the performance was okay. We tried to argue it out, but they said, let's keep in view this query underperformance, and then we check in this, the last year actually.
So you want us also to keep this in view?
You wouldn't. I think so. Yeah.
Because it looks as if you are indirectly giving a proposal that, you know, Honorable Chair and members, please keep this in view.
Yeah, actually, you will see now the performance on these indicators and planning. You will see a shift has, because almost our quarter 4 report has been done.
Honorable colleagues, the Office of the Auditor General will do this verification, because we seem to have challenges in sources of data.
Yes.
Sources of data, and for us, we are not auditors. So we shall push it back to the Office of the Auditor General to help us synchronize these items, so that we come out with a true picture of how Mbarara performed in regard to expenditure of the funds that you received in the course of that financial year. Otherwise, short of that, you cannot account for the money that you received under this financial year that is under review. So, honorable colleagues, I do request that we are not keeping in view, sir. We are going to verify because his proposal was that we keep in view, but we are going to verify, the auditor is going to verify, and we've not made a resolution on this item. Honorable colleagues, now let's go to 2.13, delivery of services from implemented activities. We had this construction that had a delay of 6 months, 3 months. Give us the update. The construction of a 32-unit Mbara Regional Referral Technical, what is this? Construction of a 32 units. Was that the staff unit? Was it constructed by UPDF? There seemed to be a contractor here, MOPA Technical Services. How far? Update us on the progress. Have you completed the project?
Yeah, thank you. Through you, let me request our principal hospital administrator to clarify.
But you have an update on that accounting officer. We should not.
Yes, anyway.
Please do.
Thank you so much. Yes, it is not yet completed. It is actually it is 32 housing staff quarters, and it was a multi-year project. Unfortunately, since 2003, 2004, there has been no more release of the money for that project.
Since 2003, 2023, 2024?
Two actually. Yes.
22, 23. Now, I agree with you that the hospital administrator is going to give us some history about this construction. How much was the contract value? Physical performance is at how much versus financial performance? You know, honorable colleagues, this is where we find idle capital. You have money invested in something and it is left there. We need to know how much was invested, and physical progress versus financial. Proceed. Properly use the microphone, sir.
Administrator, if I think we have financial statements.
We do have.
Yeah. If you go to page 6 of financial statements, under the commentary of the accounting officer, page 6. Yeah. The budget allocation, I mean the contract amount was 5 billion. This project was awarded in 2020-21 financial year.
It's not 5 billion, 5.7 billion.
5.7.
Because you are saying 5. That rounding of yours is...
in accounting you can...
No. I've also done...
Thank you.
I've also done figures. So you can't round 5.7 billion to 5 billion downwards. You could have, if you wanted to round, it would have been 6 billion.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
And the budget is an estimate.
Accountant, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's proceed.
Yeah, you can see in that table, yeah, and in different financial years, you can see the money we received, and as at the end of that financial year, 2022-23, we had received 3,750 million, and the balance since then up to date is 1.96.
1.96 billion.
And since that financial year up to date, I think under development for all referral hospitals, there is zero.
Government of Uganda has spent 3.750 million. Billion.
Yes.
Lying idle.
True.
In something that was constructed in Mbarara Regional Referral. What was it supposed to be?
For housing staff.
Housing staff. Staff houses.
32 units.
32 units. So to date, no more funding. What communication did government make?
Maybe, Chair, before we get what's the actual performance?
Physical.
Physical performance.
The performance is around 78. This is the procurement officer. Around 78.
Around 78%.
Yeah, because they received 65%.
So that means you have a shelf?
So if they have moved.
Yeah.
You have a shelf. Does it look like this one?
No, it is far better.
It is better than...
Yeah. We are actually... Even when you look at the photos.
So it is roofed, plastered.
Even doors fitted.
So what is missing?
It is actually the last part of painting.
No, 1.7 billion cannot be just final touches. It is 1.9 billion, cannot be just final touches. I know it's a colleague that was giving us final touches. So I want, because, you know, this is very embarrassing. Government starts on a project. Meanwhile, you have medical staff moving up and down. I don't know, where do your staff sleep?
No, they survive on their own.
You see? So this is very, very unfair of our staff in Imbara. You have a structure where you've invested a lot of money, lying idle, and government, have you been allocated any money this financial year, 25-26? Honorable colleagues, you know, there are things that we cannot hold on as wait for the Treasury memoranda. This one cannot wait. This might be borrowed money. We are paying interest on an item that is not serving the people. So this is a waste of resources. So our clerk, take note, among the items that must be seriously discussed with the stakeholders that we talked about is the issue of the 32-unit staff houses in Imbara Regional Referral, where government has refused to give more money. You see? So if you invest money, eventually you pull out. This is very unfair. The staff of the regional referral are still renting, and they look to be comfortable and happy. Director, you are very comfortable with this situation.
No, I'm not.
Have you written any letter to the ministry to really update them about this situation?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, you are going to give us all the letters that you have shared between Imbara Regional Referral Hospital and the ministry. All those letters, those are going to be among the submissions that you are going to make.
Chair, as we discussed that, you remember where Parliament was accused that Parliament has taken money. I was in the budget committee. These were part of the projects we had reallocated money to cover.
Can you imagine?
Unfinished projects. But then some people from finance went to the president that Parliament has eaten money, has taken 750 billion. It was money for ambulances, money for finishing the structures, money for health center trees. So, as we deal with that, let us wait to deal with the finance people. They are the ones who don't even, it's not even these hospitals. We need to deal with the finance.
Actually, in addition, I remember that reasoning by the chair budget that we have so many idle investments out there. Why don't we have them completed? You have a health facility, phase 1 done, no phase 2 funding, you leave it there. So somebody comes out and says, you know, because this is going to somebody's constituency, but this is Uganda.
We had removed money from the treasury operations to have all these projects, especially
completed,
the health to be removed, but some people think
750 billion taken to, is this the one that you are distributing in the ghettos? Taken to the ghettos and you refuse to, Honorable Nekesa, let me first complete my point. We have the 750, a moment. The chair must be heard in silence. Okay, you can, General.
Thank you, Chair. Without the committee delving into ghetto and other policy that we are also accountable to as a Parliament, because I think I'm in the Secretarial Committee of Health, so I know what happened in that, and the fact that the Parliament was involved in having this universal policy of capital development put a halt. I think we cannot. I mean, for the health facilities, it came through Parliament.
Put a hold.
I mean, it happened. It was announced on the floor. That's Parliament. So we are all accountable for that. We can't point fingers now and get the entities, ma'am.
Doctor, I know you want to defend the government, but this is in the budget committee. That's why we have reallocated money.
Back to the chair. Back to the chair. We have never, as Parliament, passed a policy that we hold capital development in hospitals. We've never done that as Parliament. I've never heard of it. So kindly, that is off record, and Doctor, let's not submit on that. As PAC, we have not made any submission that we are part of this mess. No. PAC is not part. We have never passed a policy of stalling capital development money. Actually, our interest as MPs is to have capital development everywhere, because this is the only way you can serve the people. So if the executive sat somewhere and the executive made resolutions, that is theirs. And that resolution has never come to Parliament. But I doubt whether there is a people's Parliament that can pass such a resolution. So you know, when we have unfinished projects. So, Doctor, for that one, I'll say it's off record, and this is not parliament. That's how, not how the People's Parliament can behave. So, honorable colleagues, we take note. We are going to sensitively handle this matter. Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital must be allocated money to have this facility completed.
Thank you.
Non-negotiable. Thank you, honorable members. Let's proceed. We are looking at findings from the hospital service delivery points. We are going to handle this. We need to hurry a bit because we have plenary today. Stockouts of essential medicines. The Auditor General noted that some of the stockouts were up to a period of 10 months. 10 months, a hospital like Mbarara, who is said is even at a level of qualifying to be a national hospital, spends 10 months without having essential drugs. Accounting officer, what's the reason?
Thank you. Please, Dr. Manzi.
Thank you, Chair. Routinely, as Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital, every year we do a needs analysis to ascertain what is our actual need. And if we have to do an average of 5 years, we realize that our actual need was 54 billion. And we have already shared this data with national medical stores. Actually,
54 billion for
essential medicines.
Essential medicines, yes.
And supplies to cover the specialized and the super specialized services. But our budget is around 2.8 billion. And that 2.8 billion is what is allocated to us, and it's what we spread thinly across all the items that we receive. Some may find that at the beginning of every year, we have to make sure to plan within the 2.8 billion. Now imagine that the variance between 54 and 2.8. So that alone.
Honorable Susan, compute which percentage is that? 54 billion versus 2.8. We need to get that percentage.
Yes.
So, honorable colleagues, do we have to spend more time on that? We take note that Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital is given a very meager budget when it comes to supply of essential medicines. We need to take note of that. Could be this is done out of the other reasoning that you even offer services that are outside your scope?
Actually, Madam Chair, it is so hurting that we have these specialized and super-specialized services, and we have clients who demand for them. But when we're making an order, we're restricted to something called the essential medicines and health supplies list, which all other regional referral hospitals are supposed to order drugs to. Yet we are offering other super-specialized services like the neurosurgeries and all that. These require specialized medicines, and these are not provided for by this list. So each time we push for these, we always told, no, this is a monopoly for the national referral. So surely, that's why.
So, honorable colleagues, we should take note that Mbarara is supposed to be handled in a unique way, because it's us who say that Kampala is congested. Mbarara is trying to help us handle some of the other, patients that side, and you cannot give the necessary medicines to help them, execute that mandate. So, for me, I think as we do make discussions with the key stakeholders, Mbarara should be part in regard to whether they elevate their mandate. Government must have a special discussion in regard to Mbarara, because as people need the service. We need the services, and we cannot underscore the contribution that they do make to provision of basic services medical to this country. So we take note of that. We are not going to really waste a lot of time on it. So we shall handle it as we do proceed with the discussions that we shall have with the relevant stakeholders. Then when it comes to radiology department, the X-ray unit, the auditor notes that during the time of inspection, it revealed that the X-ray machine had not been operating for the last 3 months. What happened to your X-ray machine, doctor? Dr. Manzi, are you the one to respond? I don't want to...
No, it's okay.
If they want to proceed, please do.
Thank you. This is a common information to all of us. We've had an old X-ray machine that has served for the last 30 years. And it kept on breaking down. Eventually, it was condemned. That was actually...
Doctor, explain to us, what does an X-ray machine do? So that even the lay person can understand.
Yeah, thank you. An X-ray machine, it is a machine that uses actually ultraviolet rays. And the commonest investigations we've seen it clearly looks at the bones and the other tissues, the soft tissues, but mainly the bones. So every time you hear that a patient is suspected to have, for example, TB of the lungs, then one of the special investigations is the X-ray of the chest, which will show us that we have actually wounds or perforations in the lungs. If I get fractured today, the minimum of first useful investigation is an X-ray. It will show the fracture in the bone. So that is X-ray we've been having.
So what happens to people who come to Mbara and they need X-ray services?
Yes, we are still stuck with the people.
Up to date?
Yes. It is only, members, it is only 2 weeks back when we received the good news that the ministry has got an X-ray, actually a digital X-ray for us. The team is there to make pre-installation assessment and also to plan and take away the old one.
So
I'm very happy that very soon that is a service.
To date, for how long has Mbara Regional Referral Hospital stayed without an X-ray machine?
It is now actually 2 years.
Doctor,
2 years.
2 years.
2 years?
Yes. Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital,
Yeah.
spending 2 years without an X-ray machine. How much does a private operator charge for an X-ray examination?
In common places,
In Mbara?
yes, in Mbarara, non-sophisticated one is 300, not 300, it is actually 35,000.
35,000.
It can go up to 150.
But Chair, I would like the county officer to tell us, to the committee, what happens if you're to get an X-ray. Is it off shelf, or is there a procedure that what makes it long to acquire one, or is it as easy as go across the shop in wherever and get it? What's the detail there?
Thank you, Honorable. We've been actually pressing, and every time we actually a physical visit to our offices, they tell us there is a procurement process. Please be patient. Please be patient. Until recently, when we got good news.
A role of the Atomic Energy Council in this that can also delay that this.
Honorable colleagues, we're not going to look too much in the delays, but we have to note that the referral hospital has spent 2 years without an X-ray machine. There is no process that can take 2 years by whichever standard. So because doctor wants to seem as if the process was in progress. So honorable colleagues, we take note. Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital remained, 2 years. Actually, for to date, they don't have. Yes, honorable.
Chair, just something that I wanted to raise. This is a regional referral that is supposed to be upgraded to a national referral facility. I do not think Mbarara in its state should have one X-ray machine.
True.
And reading through the audit report, it clearly indicates that the X-ray machines, implying there were more than one, I don't think they all became non-functional at the same time. You had only one? Sure? Yeah, but in looking at the number of patients that you handle, you shouldn't have just one X-ray machine. You can have one big one, and then another, of some level, yes.
Yeah, that's very true, Honorable.
Which you should have.
And
but,
we are okay.
Yeah, but just hold on. And that takes me to my other question. As a regional referral hospital, should you continue relying on the Center for Procurement? Can't you, as a regional referral hospital, now considering that you have the teaching university next to you, find other alternative means of having an X-ray machine? Even if you charged, I don't think you'd be charging 35,000. As a patient, I would feel happier coming to a facility. You even have the private wing, by the way. You have a private wing.
Do you have an X-ray machine in the private wing?
So why should you have the private wing, mixed up with the general wing, and then you cannot have the services the other side? If I came to a hospital as a patient, I would be happier being told that this X-ray you know, the X-ray services are not for free, and you asked me to pay 20,000, then as a patient coming, picking, you have diagnosed and said I should do an X-ray, and then I have to walk out of the hospital to another facility.
And it's
That's another day wasted.
A distance
So
away from
why don't you have an X-ray machine in your private wing as a regional referral hospital?
Doctor, why don't
Yeah,
you have,
yeah.
yes, Honorable Kupa Elijah?
Because I'm sure the charges will be less.
Chair, me, the Honorable, like we say, was former Minister of Health, Minister of State for Health. I'm just wondering whether it is not the law that is pending or halting them to do that, because I know most procurements, you must follow the procurement law and the guidelines. If it is so, maybe that's where we need to come in and say, I think for regional referral hospitals, if they have the money, they should be able to, they should be allowed to procure, especially. But even with the private, because even the private, when they get this non-tax revenue, it must come back to this, it must go to the center first. It must again go back to the center. They cannot still spend it. But to me, my concern and the worry is how, this being a teaching hospital, what has been the fate of the students who completed their year? During these 2 years, if they are to do practicals, because they are going to the hospital to do practicals, those ones who are going to do an X-ray, how has it been handled? So so what type of quality of students are you going to churn out? This is where government should really be serious, because there are some things which can be delayed in order to others move. I was telling my sister here that even the PDM, they can delay the PDM to be given, and then the money go there and let us have at least X-ray. Because someone will not die because he has not received the PDM. But let us have, someone can die when there's no X-ray machine. Yeah. So we make a strong recommendation to this effect.
I'm telling you, you are looking at doctor. We shall not be here to argue about PDM and these others, but you must know that prioritization is very important.
What is life?
You cannot miss out on
and
the
quality
basics.
of the people who churn out.
And Honorable Cooper, doctors should know that government has signed the social contract with the people, and provision of basic services is mandatory. When you go to the Constitution under the national objectives and direct principles of state policy, it is under Objective 20. It is mandatory that the state shall take all practical measures to ensure the provision of basic medical services to the population. So it's non-negotiable. That is why, Doctor,
it's in the perspective that even social transformation is
Doctor,
part of the social contract that you can't undermine and go for one.
Doctor, let's not just argue on this. Health is life. You cannot argue about life.
Yeah, it's
you
about
cannot. And you cannot fail to give, you know.
If
So
someone
we
does not,
cannot
if someone does not get PDM, he will not die.
Honorable colleagues, access of microphone is after permission from the chair. I have ruled. So, honorable colleagues, we take note that Mbarara has no X-ray, and the one that they are yet to get is one. The population is big. Yes, we need to look into this. It's not a matter of arguing. Colleagues, look at the common person, the 1 inch who cannot afford some of these.
Chair, even you, because if you are sick, even if you have money, but you have been admitted in Mbarara, but now you need X-ray, even if you have money, you must be moved, and you may be too weak to be moved to that private thing. So it's not about just only ordinary person.
So, honorable colleagues.
Madam, I need protection.
No, you are very protected, and
I think I've touched the wrong button of PDM.
No, she must have the energy to listen to these, some of these, you know. You must get used to listening to the concerns of the people, no matter the political parties that you subscribe to. And we are here basically to serve the nation, not serving political parties. Honorable colleagues, take note of the CT scan. Doctor, the author noted that, I noted that the Ministry of Health delivered a new CT scan machine. However, this was not in use because of lack of essential accessories to facilitate its full functionality, as illustrated below. Honorable colleagues, our dear team from Bara received a CT scan that has remained idle. You will tell us for how long? Because of lack of accessories. Doctor, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To inform you now, it's fully functional.
How many years did it spend without, serving the people?
I think it cannot make it. They are just a few months because we kept on.
Few months is not time. Be specific, doctor. You are, when you make response, as you make response to some of these items, a CT scan means a life to somebody. So you have a machine that was brought, it lied idle for some period of time. People were underserved. So as you speak to some of these facts, be factual.
The good news is that we had an old one. It was helping us during that time.
You proceed. Now let him proceed.
Yes, the good news is that we had an old one, which is still functional even up to today. So it was helping us during that period of time. But we kept on writing to Ministry of Health, and we kept on writing to OSMED, and later who came later and rectified the problem.
We are asking for the period. For how long did this remain idle? 6 months, doctor.
Not sure.
You must be sure. These are your items. You must be sure. You have them kept in hospital garages. Honorable colleagues, remember a scenario that we had in Masaka Regional Referral, where they had ICU beds kept in a garage for 3 years. So this is idle capital. Meanwhile, a ministry buys a CT scan, no accessories, it is put there. So the reason as why we come out to bring out these issues is to avoid these incomplete supplies. How do you buy a CT scan, then you don't put accessories? What is the essence? If you don't have money, don't buy. No pressure, no what. And you'll find these being dumped in so many places. You rather buy a few, complete, and use them.
But even when you procure a full unit.
Procure a full unit.
The supply should provide for everything.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Honorable Saz.
Yes, Madam Chair. As an ordinary Ugandan, I want to know, without essential drugs, no X-ray unit, no CT scan. Now, what qualifies Zimbabwe to be a referral hospital?
It is a poster. They have a poster that indicates that Mbara is a referral hospital. You say they are in a high dependency unit. For me, I qualified it to be. So, honorable colleagues, the operating theatre, we take note that the auditor inspected the main theatre and noted the following. The hospital has a theatre operating of 8 rooms, but only 6 were operational at the time of inspection. The 2 rooms were not operational because they lacked the basic equipment and operating tools, such as the operating table, anesthesia machines, operating lights. You need a bulb, Operating lights means these ones, Operating and operating instruments, among others. A number of equipment had machinery breakdown. They could not be repaired. These included water heaters, anesthesia machines, operating beds, drip stands, trolleys, weighing machines for babies. So, accounting officer. Mbarara City. No, these ones qualify to be Zimbabwe district local government, because when somebody mentions that you're in a city, I mean, even Zimbabwe is better than you. You know, when one listens to the land of milk and honey, then proceed with your answers. So, Doctor, proceed.
Yes, thank you, Chair. If you had seen most of the equipment that we are having were equipment that were given to us at the inception of the building. So these have been used over that period of time. I think that the building was around 2000.
It was 2012.
2012. So these have been used since 2012. And secondly, if you had to see the number of operations we handle, there are quite very many. So some of these equipment even don't rest. So that's why we see we're in such a situation.
So we've been talking about the issue of placement as opposed to outright purchase of equipment. And I want to hear from the hospital team whether you do not think that the placement option is a better one, because then the challenges of accessories of some of these things would not arise. Because when you look at the CT scan, for example, they had a new CT scan placed, procured, but not utilized. So if you opted for placement, then the owner of that equipment would ensure that the necessary supplies or accessories are available. And if there is any mechanical fault, it's their duty and responsibility to ensure that they, as fast as possible, repair this machine and then remove it, even bring another one. Wouldn't that be a better option that regional referral hospitals should opt for, as opposed to this outright purchase of equipment, but also considering the changing technology? Because this technology is changing very fast. You procure equipment today, the next 2 years you may find you don't have supplies.
Dr. Manzi, before she comes in addition to that, Dr. Manzi, would you say something about your staff, the biomedical engineers? Do you have part, is it part of your team, or do you again transact those from elsewhere to do the services and maintenance of equipment? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's unfortunate. Unlike other regional referral hospitals, Mbara Regional Referral Hospital lacks a regional maintenance workshop. Actually, we rely on the university students actually to help us, plus the lecturers to help us do the maintenance of this equipment. Then concerning the placement is possible for some equipment, and for some other equipment it may not be possible. Mainly, I can give an example. If I can give a basic tool like maybe laparotomy set, that one we have no option as hospital, we have to just buy it. However, the budget to buy, our retooling budget for this equipment is so small. It's around 108 million. 108 million. Even 108 million cannot even buy an anesthesia machine that we are talking about here, because an anesthesia machine costs 250 million, which means even what we have, if it broke down, we cannot afford even to buy another one. And operating lights. An operating light, just one. Actually, when I talk about an operating light, we mean that she was asking about a bulb. It's an equipment that provides light trying to mimic the sun, because it's easier. You can easily view the smallest vessel under the normal natural light. But when you're enclosed in darkness, that can provide the light that is equivalent to the normal light. So just one light costs 90 million. 102.
So meaning we have the budget for maintenance is very limited, and even for capital development?
It's almost because if you cannot buy even one theater light, or even if you combine 2 financial years budget, you can still not buy an anesthesia machine. So which means that even what you lose, you cannot even replace it.
No, but Chair, this now takes me to the issue of out-of-pocket expenditure on health. Why do you then say that are your services free?
Yes.
Are they really free? If you send me to an X-ray out of the hospital, so how do we say that the services are free? Then why don't you opt to have an X-ray machine placed and charge minimally, so that Ugandans can contribute to their own health care, instead of that inconvenience?
Sarah,
because
really,
people are paying for health care. It's not free.
The cost-sharing policy.
Really, policy issues must be also looked into. A referral hospital. This is a government hospital, and you cannot just operate as if we are in private. So, honorable colleagues, let's take note that Mbara Regional Referral Hospital, for him, he was saying it is in the high dependency unit, but he has also now believed that is in the ICU.
No, but so, Chair, let me make a correction.
Yes.
Tertiary care is not free in this country. Let's be clear. Let's stop the pretense. Primary health care, yes. Tertiary care is not free in this country. So let's not talk about free health care services, even in regional referral hospitals, which provide tertiary care to patients. So let's have that distinction and be clear to the public. That tertiary care, those specialized services are not free.
And that is true.
Yeah,
everyone
so why are
knows
we pretending?
Specialized services must be paid for. But we've been looking at the basics missing. We are looking at the X-rays, CT scans, and we've not looked at specialized services. Yes, Honorable
First of all,
Silas.
First of all, to introduce myself, and also apologize to you because I came in a little late because of government work. My name's, I'm Silas Algon. I'm the MP of Kumi Municipality. Madam Chair, nearly all over the country, we realize that most of the staff of our health facilities intentionally do not want to provide for the budget for maintenance of equipment in hospitals. For the reason that most of them are operating this equipment for commercial benefit. That one we should not hide away from. And if I'm not mistaken, one of these people are actually running that kind of business. And that's where the problem is. That is the crisis we're having in the country.
Thank you.
Yes.
You,
so before you cut me short, the microphone is still on. Madam Chair, I want to believe it is very important that Mbarara shows us the maintenance budget that they really had tried to put it there in 2023-2024. Tell us how much you had budgeted for, then government rejected or parliament rejected and threw it away. They will have known that you were serious. Yes. Because that is the crisis we have. They intentionally don't want the equipment to operate because they have to benefit from that.
Honorable colleagues, we take note of Honorable Silas's observation, but Honorable colleagues, I think the allegation might not be true because maintenance of equipment has been a challenge across board, not even in the medical sector alone, but even the equipment for your roadworks. It has cut across maintenance even for roadworks. So yes, Honorable.
Even if it was true, these people cannot buy for the hospital. If assume medical director has money, he cannot buy to put it there because government has failed. He can only do it in the private thing, and in a way, he can still save life.
True.
But by that, I'm not saying they are doing it. But if it is something is happening, there's a vacuum, there's a gap. That's how people come in. That's how people come in. But the most important thing is for us to press government to provide money for development expenditure and for the maintenance of this equipment. I think that's the bottom line.
Very true. Honorable colleagues, we take note, and the accounting officer mentioned it clearly under his response that the accounting officer explained that most of the equipment in the theatre was installed at the opening of the new theatres, and most of them were old and obsolete. This was because of the high demand for the use of this specialized equipment. So we take note of the challenges that you do have in this sector. Lastly, the intensive care unit. The auditor inspected the intensive care unit and noted the following. And the director, take note that this is the unit where you are going to be referred as an hospital. So just know the status of the place where you are going to be taken to. Number one, the unit had a total of 8 rooms and 8 beds, but only 2 out of the 8 beds are operational. Despite the hospital has 5, despite the hospital nursing 5 patients at a time. So 2 beds are operational out of the 8 in the ICU. Number 2, there were only 3 functional ventilator machines out of the required 8 for the 8 rooms. So meanwhile, only 3 monitors were functional in the 3 rooms.